Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever it is for you. I'm Cyclone, and this is Let's Play Train Simulator. And as you can see, it is the day. It is the final time for us to go through this route as planned. We are going to be playing Where There Once Were Shipyards. And as you see, I have the gold star on every other route here. You can see my scores vary along them. I have a 958 on Clydesbank Direct, which I think is my worst score. There's a 981 on East Dumbarton Shire Commuter, 973 on Roll on Somerset. I had a bad speeding incident in Clydesbank Direct. That's why that one was so low by comparison. Run for the Hills, we got a perfect score. Last time, you got to see that, and I'm very proud of that one. There's another 980 on Washed Out by the Lock. So I got my gold stars. And all I have to do to complete the collection is complete Where There Once Were Shipyards. So we're going to get into the scenario. We're going to start playing it right now. 11:52 in the morning. We're going to have a nice afternoon drive in the summer. A nice summer day here in Suburban Glasgow. And let's take a look at the scenario. I'll see you in the map. Where There Once Were Shipyards. I think we're going to be dealing with a red light here when we leave, but let's take a look at the scenario information before we leave. We're going to be starting at in Where There Once Were Shipyards. No shipyards for us. We're starting at Springburn Platform 3. We're going to be heading south. We're going to stop at these stations that we didn't stop at on the previous run. So we're going to go to Barnhill. We're going to go to Alexandra Parade. We're going to go to Duke Street. So I'm going to try and get a better discussion of these stations than I did in the first scenario, because it's going to be our first time really stopping at them. Bellgrove Platform 1, we're going to go to High Street. Looks like an all stops run so far, because we're going to continue to Glasgow Queen Street. Then we have Charing Cross, all the way over to Patrick. We're going to miss Exhibition Street, obviously. Going to continue to Hyndland, going to continue to Jordanhill, not going to Anniesland. Then we're going to take the stations along this path. So there's 1, there's 2, Yoker, past the Yoker Yard, Clydesbank, and there are only 4 on that part of the route, I believe. Yeah, only 4 on that part of the route because after Jordanhill. So yeah, Dalmuir, Kilpatrick. No skips yet. We're going to Bowling, and then after that we're going to continue to Dumbarton East. We're going to continue to Dumbarton Central, and that's the end. We're going to stop at Dumbarton Central. We're not going to go anywhere beyond the beyond that part. There's a train hanging out on. I think that's the up track. We're going to be taking the down track. So there's a train hanging out there that we're going to see on the way by, I guess. But we're not going to be taking either of these routes. Our scenario ends right here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the timings. So we're going to pick up passengers at and leave at 11:53. I think we do have a green light there, actually. We're going to be, and you can see the marker where I am. So let's get that marker off of me because I'm a little distracted by that. Fantastic. Here we are. So we're going to be picking up passengers from the next station in a couple minutes at Barnhill. And again, all the timing, because we're going every stop along the way. It's an all stops run. So we only have like 2 minutes between all these stops. So there's not really much to talk about in terms of timings. The only main thing is make sure you do it all by 12:44, which means we have about 50 minutes to make this run to Dumbarton. So it's going to be a busy morning here. We're busy afternoon, I guess it's going to be by the time we're done. So let's get started. Good afternoon, driver. Today you will be driving the 11:54 stopping service from Springburn to Dumbarton Central, calling at all stations via Yoker. Open the doors and prepare to depart. So yeah, we are starting at Springburn Station, which was built by the City of Glasgow Union Railway. It is part of the Cumbernauld Line, obviously. The branch from Bellgrove opened to goods traffic in 1875. We're going to be going by Bellgrove as well, obviously. The station building was designed by James Carswell in 1875, was opened in 1887. And I'm going to go ahead and see if I can peek ahead at the junction further ahead. There's my head, by the way, in there. A junction up here, the Sight Hall Junction, I believe the university, what is it called? The Glasgow Calvin College, I believe it's in this general area. That might be it right there, actually. And I think there's a nice circular neighborhood somewhere over here that I don't think is really represented on the map very well, but I believe that is a community college at the Sight Hill Junction right there. So that's a little interesting thing on the map in real life that you can look up and see what that is. We've got a bit of a wait here. I'm going to try to keep my descriptions a little more casual today. This is our last journey on the route. I want to enjoy this route this particular time, but I will still try to give you information as we go. I do have some recordings for both Jordanhill and London to Brighton in mind, so I do want to visit one of those 2 next because I have some of those already set to go. I just have to edit them. And I do want to get the US feature quickly, and I have a lot of content for Jordanhill to play, so I'm going to be coming in and out of Jordanhill a lot, therefore I might actually do that one next just so I have that introduced and I can come back to that anytime I want to come back to that with some other content, like a train I need to drive there or something like that. So I'm probably going to do that next. Keep tuned for that next time. For right now, let's enjoy this one. We're about to get going. I'll do the AWS self-test. Take the brakes down with step 1, so we're ready to go. Passengers have boarded. Let's get moving. We are off to Barnhill Station. We are going to be continuing all the way to Dumbarton Central on today's journey. That is our service terminus. I think this is supposed to mimic a service that goes through Springburn Station, but we are starting on the inner platform, so this is clearly being done as a terminus. I guess the service is going to continue to Helensburgh without us, Helensburgh Central, because that normally is the service, I believe, going all the way to Helensburgh Central. So we're not going to be finishing that drive today. We're just going to go to Dumbarton Central and we're done. But it's an all-stop service all the way to Dumbarton. Every station will be getting a visit from us. Or a stop, I should say. So we are going to go through the previously mentioned Sight Hall East Junction. This leads to Edinburgh via steps. We're going to come to Barnhill before we actually cross under that junction. Or that diverging route. I'm increasing speed because we still have time to stop anyway, even in the station. But now's a good time for me to turn off the speed. And now I will go ahead and put the brakes on. This is a good time to do so. And I'm trying to intentionally get close to this signal because I want to show you this signal in a second as well. So Barnhill Station is indeed our first stop. There we go. And Barnhill opened to goods traffic in 1875. The station opened in 1883. And that's when service extended from Alexandra Parade, which is our next station. The signal ahead is signal CS, let me actually bring it up here, CS325, as you can see. The C means this is in the cow layers control section. So cow layer signals have a C at the start of them. We are soon going to be crossing over into Yoker control, and I'll talk about that as we go by it. So the Barnhill Tunnel is going to be coming up after we leave the station. We got a bit of a wait here. I was apparently early for this exit. I don't know. And on we go. So we are leaving at a 40-mile-per-hour speed limit, so I will bump the speed up quickly here as we come up to the Barnhill Tunnel. And this is where the junction from the Sight Hill East Junction, the track to steps, crosses over to the left. And there is a rail car shunt siding up there as well, so scenario designers can use that or put something in the thing up there for anyone exploring the map. But there's no point in us going that way unless we're doing some freight work. There's no reason to go there otherwise. This is downhill most of the way, so I'm going to have to manage the speed more carefully here. We are now going to be passing the old station of Garscadden. It's not really represented on the map, but Garscadden was flanked by the Blocker and Iron Works and the Proven Gas Works. And the Ironworks was probably over on this side somewhere. And the reason I say that is because the tunnel coming up is actually called the Blockhearn Tunnel, which is coincidental enough there. So this 1.7 gradient is really trying to make us go too fast here. So you have to really manage your speed coming down this area. That's why you see me applying the brakes periodically to make sure I don't go too fast. And I am now in that tunnel, the Blockhearn Tunnel. Alexandra Parade, as you can see, is coming up, and I'm going to put the brakes on again. I might leave them on this time, actually, because they'll slow us down enough in time for me to come to a stop. So I'll take them off for a moment. Now I need to reapply them. And now I will put a step 2 application on. And I'll release that for a moment while I get in the platform. And we did pass the Yoker signal YS213R not too long ago. That is the start of Yoker control for us. So we are now under Yoker control on the line. Just so I'm ready to go for the headlights, let's just turn the lights on. They don't really do much for us, but might as well turn them on. A little bit of a passenger view here. Not really seeing much in this one. So Alexandra Parade, let's take a quick look outside because there's something near Alexandra Parade I want to... I didn't give myself enough time, but apparently there is a fountain of some sort over here you can look up. I just didn't give you a chance to look at it, unfortunately. Keep the AWS on, thank you. Reverser on. So I didn't give you enough time to look at that fountain, unfortunately. I kind of lingered too long there, but the Saracen fountain might have been over in that direction that I was looking in. I just don't know the exact location of it on the map, so it might have taken me a while just to find it. Alexandra Park is over there. The golf course also extends off the map. We probably don't see any of the golf course on here, for obvious reasons. And step 2 brake application now. That should get us into the platform fully. We are on time here. Doors are open. We're literally right on time. Might have been like 2 seconds late at most, but we still get full points for that. So we do have a series of unnamed tunnels ahead. I don't know what these tunnels are. We did pass where the Hague Hill Junction used to be. It led to current time, but that has been lifted. You didn't see it on our road, and that's why I always forget about it, because it's no longer there. So Bellgrove is the only access from to Cartine at this point. Thank you. There's my bonus. Full points so far. 50 points for each stop. So there you go. There's your indication of what the point values are. 50 for every stop today. Now our speed limit coming out is 40, but we are going to be coming into a 30, so I'm taking the throttle off as we enter the 30 to make sure we don't speed into it on this downhill, because we are going to continue to gain speed as we enter the 30, even with no throttle. We're under the effect of the 30 now, and of course the train's trying to make me speed. We are still on a bit of a gradient here. The Roman Catholic Church of St. Anne is along this junction as well, by the way. The gradient has leveled out, so I'm going to have to trip the throttle back on to keep myself around 30 at this point. Oh, I'm in Bellgrove. I didn't hit the stop in time, so I'm going to go straight into full service. Still enough space to stop, but you don't really want to go into full service from a straight stop, because that causes some passenger discomfort. And I still tried to step it, so it should be okay for comfort, but there might be a little bit of discomfort there. So the Bellgrove Tunnel is straight ahead. Our next station after the Bellgrove Tunnel will be High Street. We will be passing a junction track that I talked about last time in Run for the Hills. That's the track to Cardonald on the Inverclyde line from Glasgow Central, which is not part of this DLC. It's a track that's generally not used for passenger services, so it was literally just used for that special movement. There we go, brakes off. Now my headlights are on, but we're not going to really see much of an indication of, just to show you the headlights are on, there you go right there. But we're not going to see much from them, unfortunately. Throttle off, please. So we are still at a 30 speed limit. Need a little more throttle, actually. We are still at a 30 speed limit, but we are going to be moving into a 40 before High Street. We are going to have to stop shortly into that speed limit range, though. I'm a quarter of the way to my perfect score. Let's not blow it. Downhill gradient there. 1.105 is the gradient, gaining speed slowly. Here is that junction. And this track does not continue past, it does not continue all the way to a bridge that actually shows up. The bridge is there, but the track doesn't continue to that bridge. And the world seems to end at that point, as these DLC tend to. We are coming into a 40, but there's no point speeding up. We are too close to the station. We are going to have to stop. Inconceivably planned 40 there. So we're doing a step 1 application now. I'm going to bump that up to a step 2 right about now. That might be enough to pull the stop, otherwise I may move it into full service. As you can see, I am still right on time. Probably should have put it in full service just to speed things up, but what can you do? So this used to be known as College Station. It may be relocated in the future as part of the Glasgow or the Crossrail Glasgow initiative, but our version is here forever. So we're going to get to see the station here no matter what happens to it in real life. It will always be here for us to remember what it used to be as we go into the tunnel to Glasgow Queen Street up ahead. So this next section is fully underground. A couple stations do emerge, but they are underground stations. So we are now in the I believe this is called the High Street Tunnel. Yeah, the High Street Tunnel we are in. And I'm letting the speed go up slowly because we are on a gradient here. In fact, I'm going to take the throttle off now because we should be okay for our stop at this point. I'll give it a little bit more, why not? Oh, it's still gaining. Let's hit the brakes now because that's faster than I thought we were going to be going. Move to step 2 immediately because we need to cut a little speed off there. And now I'll coast in for a moment. There's a fence. We want to stop behind that fence. So we are at Glasgow Queen Street, stopping at Glasgow Queen Street. If I need to tell you much about this station, then you don't know Glasgow Rail at all. This is home to the Croy line, the Cumbernauld line, the Maryhill line, and many more, including the West Hyndland line, which is a terminus here. I'm going to move above ground to show you that station, because this is the station I'm talking about right here. This is the main above ground station. We are under this. Nobody here right now. A little quiet here today. No one coming in and everything's red. Interesting. Usually it's a lot busier than that. And also, one of the sleeper services, the Highland Caledonian sleeper service actually stops here as well. It's a distinction shared with our final station of the day, which is Dumbarton Central. So leaving Glasgow Queen Street at a 40-mile-per-hour speed limit. This is the Charing Cross Tunnel. Charing Cross Station up ahead shares a distinction with the Anderson Station in that they both serve the financial district. And I just want to note again, I said last time that I would love to see Anderson Station created to connect Exhibition Centre to the Glasgow Central on West Coast Main Line North. That is a burning wish for me to be able to drive on that entire Argyle line service. And I'm sure there are other people who would love to do that as well because there is an Argyle line scenario that terminates at Ruther Glen in that DLC. So being able to drive that entire underground route would be really nice, really cool to do, and be able to take that service all the way to Larkhill, or if we want, even all the way to Carstairs. It'd be great to be able to drive that entire route. Whoever wants to put that together, please do it. Contact me. I want to be the first to drive that service on camera. So please feel free to do that. Let me know. I'm hitting the brakes a little too late here, so I'm going to just punch up to a step 2 as soon as I get to the platform. Here we go. And I will make my full service stop right there, and I'll pull back to step 2 and step 1 respectively. Actually, I'm going to keep it at step 2 because it's not slowing down very much. So there we go. As you see, I am still on time. Every stop is... the Patrick stop is the next one, is a little further away, but then they get a little close again. So we got 5 minutes to get to Patrick from this point. 4 minutes, actually. Then they get a little close again. That's because it is a further distance to drive. There's more to talk about. So we're going to be entering the Finiston Tunnel as we enter as we exit the station. This is the Finiston Tunnel ahead, I should point out. Signal YF473 sits at the exit of the tunnel, and the right turn from that is going to bring us over the Kelvin Haw Tunnel. So I'll kind of point that out as we go by if I can. By the way, this is my first run at this. I have not practiced this scenario. This actually is my first run. I got all 400 points so far, so I guess I'm getting good at this route. I say as I jinx the next stop at Patrick. Gonna take the throttle off so I can try to show you on the mini-map what's going on here. Put a little bit of speed back on. We're on level ground right now. Thank you very much. Is that a warning of an adverse signal? The signal might be yellow ahead, so I may not be able to really show you much here. That is a yellow. That is a single yellow, it looks like. So I need to slam those brakes before the next... Yeah, never mind. I can't show you the mini-map now. We have to assume the next signal is red. I'll try to show you a quick look. Kelvin Haw Tunnel is right there under us. That is still yellow ahead, so we can proceed, but it looks like it is still a single yellow. Thank you. I can go a little ways here, but I am going to slow down before the next signal because I have to assume that it is red. So I'm not going to cross 30 at this point. I think we are going to be safe to make the entry into Patrick. I think there's just a train ahead of us right now that's going to veer off after Hyndland. That's my guess, but I can't say that for sure. It could be an Argyle line service because we are now merging with Argyle line service from Finiston, or from Exhibition Centre. I always do that. There's the road that eventually becomes Dumbarton Road further ahead near our terminus. And the road network behind us on the Argyle line is fantastic. So I'm peeking in the distance. I'm going to get my binoculars out here. That's a red. I didn't mean to go to full service. I just meant to slow down. But it's now a yellow, so I'm going to release, and I'm cleared into Patrick, but I have to assume that there's a red after the station, so I cannot just speed in, because I will be put under an emergency stop if I do that. So I will go in at about 25 for now. So this means that train was probably just leaving the platform as we arrived. We're coming in right behind it. The signal ahead may be yellow by the time we actually get up to the platform, and if so, if we can see that clearly, then we can come in at a normal stop. Otherwise, we have to creep in. Get the binoculars back out here, and I'm ready to pull the handle if I need to. But I might not see enough before the turn. Look at that beautiful area to the left there. Because I still don't have an idea and I don't see a repeater signal, I'm going to go ahead and cut the brakes just to be safe. I have lots of time for the stop anyway, so I don't mind so much. I'm just going to go ahead and coast in at this point, and hopefully that's slow enough that I don't get dragged to an emergency stop. I'll put it to 12 anyway if I can. There we go. That should definitely be slow enough. And it's a double yellow, of course. Of course it's a double yellow. A repeater signal there would be very, very handy. My suspicion was correct, but you have to operate properly, so it doesn't matter. So now we are clear for 2 signals ahead, and I believe the next one is after Hyndland. So Argyle line down traffic is also going to be coming at us from the other direction now, so 2 services on that side now. And, or us up traffic, sorry, we're the down traffic. We're going to see a crossover. We saw a crossover track just before coming across. That was the Finiston West Down Junction. We're going to continue past the Patrick Hill, or down the Patrick Hill down track past the Patrick Hill Junction, which will be on our left. So the slowdown did not affect our bonus. In fact, the scenario timing probably accounts for the other train being there, which would make sense. 40 is our limit coming out of Patrick Station. There is a 30 ahead. That looks like the junction speed limit, because that is right after Hyndland Station. So let's see what the next signal is. I'm not going right up to the speed limit because we did have a double yellow, and we still have a double yellow. So we are cleared into Hyndland at this point. I'm going to go ahead and just take us up to 40 since we're stopping anyway. The signal after Hyndland is going to be red at this point. There's another track merge around. That is the Patrick Hill siding. There's a crossover for traffic going, so traffic coming from the upside can cross into the siding if they need to. This is a good turnaround point, basically, for trains. And if there's one thing I'm going to forever remember about this DLC, it will be Hermes the Hyndland Cat. I'm trying to move ahead a little bit so I can get to that 3-car stop. I'm not going to make it, so I'll just leave it where I am. Yeah, Hermes the Hyndland Cat is the one thing I'm going to always remember about this DLC. That signal YH499 controls the Patrick Hill siding, by the way. If there was a train coming into the siding or leaving the siding, we would be stopped at that signal. That is now behind us, obviously. So we're going to be passing the Hyndland East Junction. We're going to be going to Jordanhill Station next. And that will be updated on our, whoops, didn't mean to release, but it will be updated on our itinerary in a moment that that's our next station. I forgot I was in a Step 1 application already. I usually try and bring it back to Step 1 while I'm stopped, but I released by accident, not realizing I was still in Step 1. We are now on the move. I will close the box for Jordanhill. I have to keep in mind that we are leaving at a 40-mile-per-hour speed limit, but we have to remember that we're going into a 30 after the next signal. That's 505, YH505. I will actually keep the speed just where I am, slightly over 30 for right now, because I should lose speed naturally. We do have a full green at this point. So I think the train did veer off as I suspected. There's signal YH505, from what I can see there. Oh, I read that as a 30. That's actually a 50. My mistake. My mistake there. I misread the number. I know that is the speed for the junction. I just thought that was a 50 on our timing as well. So that might put me a little bit late here. We're good for this arrival anyway, but it might put us slightly late for the rest of our journey here, which is unfortunate. For this station, we are still right on time, however, so we are going to be leaving right at the moment we're supposed to. So we might be okay. So yeah, to our north is Anniesland. Obviously, Anniesland cannot access this station because the junction goes around this station. The junction, by the way, up here, I'm going to zoom out for a second, if I can. 8. Get rid of that, please. Thank you. That junction over there is home to a couple of food places and also a, as I get the train moving, the junction is home to a couple of food places and a furniture shop. Wish I could have showed you better if my controls were working. So we are green all the way here, it looks like, into Scotstounhill station. We are going to cross into a 60, but we have to manage the 50 for now. We are on a downhill gradient, so I'm going to take the throttle completely off and see how the train responds. I can increase slightly, it looks like. Oh, I actually said Garscadden was next. No, Scotstounhill. Yeah, I said Scotstounhill was next. I did say that. We're going to be crossing into the 60, but there's no point again increasing because the station is right after that. Now I'm gaining too much speed, so I need to hit the gas or brakes. I did not mean to go step 2. I'm just going to do step 1. Now I will do step 2 because I'm coming in a little too fast. Coming in just a little too fast right now, so we're going to get that speed down so I can get in the platform safely. Now I'll coast for a moment, and now I'll take it back to step 2. And full service. And I'll coast it back off so I can come to a more gentle stop. Because the 3-car thing is ahead. And we're kind of going too slow to reach it now, so I'll just go ahead and open the doors. Arrival at Scotstounhill Station. To our right, let's see if I can get a look to our right here, because there is an interesting neighborhood to the right. I want to see if it's represented here. Some circular roads here. This is the neighborhood I saw on the map, and I was really interested by this. This is Kintillo Drive and Talbot Drive, and then the inner one is Talbot Place. Little unique shape there, access from Anniesland Road. That's that road right there, Anniesland Road. So that's a little interesting neighborhood I wanted to show off there. I saw that, and it interested me. And there is a the northern exit to that particular area is via Embo Drive to Lincoln Avenue. We're going to be crossing under Anniesland Road, which that neighborhood connects to in a moment. It's going to turn into the Kingsway before it meets Dumbarton Road to the south. Why the name was changed for that small portion of land, I don't know. That small portion of road. So this is Anniesland Road right here. Garscadden is straight ahead. The Royal British League is to the right of Garscadden Station as we come up to it. Gonna put it at step 2 because we're coming in fast. And now I'll ease it off to a step 1 for a moment. Three-car stop is just ahead, so I'm going to coast it for a moment because I think I have time. And this is the proper stopping spot right here. I want to show you another interesting neighborhood in this area. This is to the south this time around. Let me see if it's actually on our map. There's the River Clyde. I can't really identify that. Oh, there's the circular road I'm looking for. This circular road is, let me see, because I have it down, Craigan Drive, and as you can see, there's just another nice little neighborhood around that circular road. So the neighborhoods in Glasgow really do look beautiful. Like, you'd want to live in these areas because they are really neatly designed, and obviously there's going to be a lot of good houses in Glasgow as well. Of course, I could have shown you the Legion building, but no, I chose to show you that instead. So we're going to be passing the Yoker Depot next, I believe. So Dyke Road, which is this road, marks the start of the main Yoker Depot. That's one of our sidings to the left here as we go in. We're going to then be crossing under Kelso Street as the east shunts come to an end, as the east depot tracks come to an end, and merge into the departure sidings. And after Kelso, we're going to have Hawick Street. So this is Kelso right here. Then we have Hawick Street. Hawick Street is right before our Yoker platform that we're going to be visiting. I hope you appreciate this information because it's hard to look down my iPad while I'm trying to drive at the same time. They're not kidding when they say don't just drive distracted on the regular vehicular roads that you and I are used to driving. This is why. Even on a trade, when your path is completely set for you, it is still distracting trying to manage your speed while you're reading this. So that was Howick Grove. You're now crossing in the station. Or Howick Street, rather. So the Yoker Bowling Club is found somewhere on our left. In that general area over there somewhere. Lawn bowling is a popular activity in the UK. The Renfrew Ferry, by the way, is somewhere in this area as well. It's the closest. This is the closest station to the Renfrew Ferry, so it's considered to be the servicing station for that ferry, I believe. On the north of the River Clyde, where I was aiming. So Clydesbank is going to be our next station. We have a 60, so I'll just pump the speed up. As you can see, 700 points. I'm still right on time here, so this is going well, and that means I'm going to jinx it. I'm already in silver star territory, I believe, so I'm guaranteed a silver, as long as I don't speed and screw up every remaining stop. We're going to be passing out of North Elgin Street here. I'm going to take the throttle down at this point. We're passing out of North Elgin Street. To our left is a go-kart facility. I'm not going to try to show you, but it's there, and there's another bowling club next to it. I might hit that brake a little early, so I'm going to take it back off. White Crook Park, by the way, was to our right in that area that I was talking about. We have a yellow, so I'm going to have to acknowledge this. Step 2 brakes at this point. Thank you. I'll ease it off for a moment. There's our 3-car stop right there. So I'll go full service because I thought it was further ahead. Bit of a misaim on my part. I think we're still in good shape for that stop. Yeah, we're actually just slightly past it, so I'll deal with that. So after this, the Clydebank Junction diverges on a small track referred to as the Dalmuir Riverside. Just to clarify, the Dalmuir Riverside is a station that used to be on the Lanarkshire and Dumbartonshire Railway. A track that this little diversion track used to connect to, but has since been completely lifted and redeveloped. It actually ran alongside Dumbarton Road to the south at one point. So that track's completely lifted, and there's no reference to it that I can find even on the current map at all. Even when you look down from the sky, you can't find any reference to the track anywhere. If you're lucky, you might see that track shunting off, I should say, shunting off, whatever you want to call it. And but that's the only track that's there. And here it is coming up right here. We are going to be going through past the Forth and Clyde Canal as well, coming up. In fact, that's the tunnel that you see on the display at the bottom. That is probably the Forth and Clyde Canal right there. And Dumbarton Road to our left is also going to be crossing that canal at some point on its own method, but that's going to be a little further down as we reach Dalmuir. We have a 40 coming up, so I'm going to actually cut the speed right now. This would be a good time to do that with an uphill coming. I'm going to put a step 2 on just to make sure we make it in time. I'm going to release it back right now. I read that signal as a speed limit for a moment, so that was my mistake, but we will take the reduction there. We are now under the effect of the 40. And we need to stop anyway, so let's get the brakes on. Thank you. We have lots of time for this stop. We have a red at the end of the platform here, so we're going to go into full service. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and coast since I have time. Since I have time, I'm going to coast up to that 3-car stop, and then I will stop. Now, we had lots of time here, as you can see. Unfortunately, I did not go too fast to hit that red signal, so that signal will eventually change. We will be able to proceed when something passes up here. Let's take a look at the map. This is probably what we're waiting for right here, this guy. Airdrie via Singer is who we're waiting for. So we also just passed under Western, or actually no, sorry, that's the next thing, sorry. The Dalmuir Post Office and Dalmuir Library are over to our left. I'll try to poke out for a second to take a look. There's a road at the end of the platform here, and that road continues over to here. I believe this is the post office, and that looks more like a neighborhood. Maybe I have the wrong road, but the post office and the library are over in this direction somewhere, near the station. The road that they're on is Dunswin Avenue, if you want to look it up on the map. It meets Swindon Street, which is the street that ends at the station. We now have a green, so we are clear to proceed once our loading is completed. Our exit time was 12:31 for this reason. I think it was 12:31. Yeah, 12:31. .40 is our speed limit leaving here. We're going to be crossing under Western Isles Road. Going to take the throttle off because we're getting close again. That is Western Isles Road ahead. We're about to go under the Erskine Bridge. Actually, no, I think I got the wrong road there. There's another road. That's Mount Blow Road. I'm sorry. That's Mount Blow Road that we're going to be crossing under. There she blows, as some would like to say. We did cross the Dumbarton around the point where the siding ended as well. Oh, 60 is our limit now, so I did not even see a sign saying that we were in the 60. So that sign was not visible. I'm going to jump up to there quickly to make sure we don't lose time if we can help it. Knowing the platform is ahead, so I'm going to reduce the throttle so we can hit the brakes safely. I'm going to go ahead and start braking now. Just a level 1 application for now. That was Western Isles Road right there that we just crossed under. So now we're going to be going under the Erskine Bridge right ahead. And that bridge overlooks the station. So when you see that bridge coming up, you know you're getting close to the station. And there's the staircase that serves the station, also in our map view. So here is Kilpatrick Station. Let's go into full service and back out. Let's coast now, because our 3-car stop is right there. And I will stop here. And arrival at Kilpatrick. That is not the view I wanted. So it should be noted that Lusset Park and the Lusset Glen are also in the area of this station. Still bonus, I got 3 stops to go. So leaving Kilpatrick Station, we're going to be finally having Dumbarton Road, which I've been talking about all this time. It's going to stop for it with us. It's finally going to cross us coming up. There it is right there. That's Dumbarton Road right there. But still going to be showing up on the right of us at some point as we go, so we're not completely clear of it. We're going to pass the Bowling Marina. You're going to see some boats on the screen here. That's going to represent the Bowling Marina. And around that point might be where I want to start stopping. Start hitting the brakes. We are actually gaining speed. We are on a 1.137 gradient, so we have no throttle on, but we are gaining speed. So you have to account for this in adjusting our speed. Because I am getting up there, I'm going to go ahead and hit the brakes a little bit now. I believe this is the marina right here. I'm going to go ahead and do a cautionary brake right now just to make sure I don't go too fast into the station. The curve can handle it. I just don't know about the if I'm going to make the station. Okay, I'm going to reduce the brake now because I did a little too early. I thought I might have. We should still be fine though. We do have a 55 speed limit ahead we have to take into account when we leave the station. So the Bowling Public Hall, it comes up before the bowling station. So the Bowling Public Hall is somewhere in this area. That's probably it right to the right in our field of view, actually. Because it is along Dumbarton Road, so that probably is it. I'm coming a little too fast to the station. I figured I might be. So I'm just going to go into full service and let the train completely stop. Our 3-car stops location is right here anyway, so we are fine. I might just overshoot it by a tiny bit. I overshot just a little bit, but we are still good for the stop. We're not going to be penalized on that. So, and the front doors unfortunately are not opening, but the other ones are. Sorry guys. Sorry guys, and the signal's red because we already crossed past it, so if we back up now, we could potentially blow the scenario. I'm just going to go ahead and keep going. So yeah, that is signal YD607. It did give us clearance, but we are already past it, so we're going to just keep going. So as we continue along at this point, this is where Dumbarton Road ends at the A82, and eventually as it drives along will become Stirling Road. It will eventually veer north, and a spur from that road will eventually go towards Balloch. Leaving the station at Bowling at a 60 mile per hour speed limit. I almost said 40. But we are coming up to a 55, so I am easing the speed because we are on a downhill. So I'm going to take the throttle right off for a moment. Actually, no, we can keep it on at P1, I believe. Maybe even P2. There's the River Clyde rejoining us on the left, sorry. And we're going to veer away from it again following the A82. While we continue along this part of the journey, I just want to remind you, like this video if you enjoy what you're seeing here. And make sure you subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. As I said, I want to try and do Sherman Hill next time. I have to retape Introduction to Sherman Hill, which is one of the most bugged scenarios I've ever seen in this game. But I'm going to see if I can put in a little bit of a fix for that. And I'm going to show you how to do that in case you want to play that scenario and try it out yourself. Because if you don't do that, you're basically going to have your train breaking apart all the way down the route. And that does not make for a fun scenario. Plus, you miss the things that you're meant to see along the scenario in terms of traffic stops and things like that. So I'm going to show you how to do that in case you want to play that scenario yourself. We're now under a 60 speed limit. We're going to soon be crossing the Clydesbank, and that is before Dumbarton East. Oh, I didn't mean to hit the brakes yet, so I almost did. We have a 40 ahead, so I actually am going to hit the brakes now. Because you have to get down to the 40 anyway, and we need to be slower than that by that point anyway to get into the station. We really should be down to about a 30 by that sign. Though I might hit the brakes a little early, so I'm going to go ahead and put that throttle back up for a moment. Just to make sure we don't lose too much time, because our arrival time is in half a minute. Technically it's 12:40:45, so we still have a full minute to make the stop. I put a little throttle back on for a moment just to make sure we don't lose too much time, because I did hit the brakes super early on that. So as we come into the platform, we are going to have the, as we cross the Clydesbank that I talked about a moment ago. Let's get the speed down in time for, there we go, thank you. Now we're going to have the East End Park on the right, and I'm not talking about the stadium. The football stadium. That is somewhere elsewhere in England. And now I'll bring it to a stop because now we have to be opening the doors. About 3 seconds late on that. But I don't think we get penalized for that. I did not mean to release. So the Clydesbank continues next to the park, which is over here. That's the park right there. And on the other side of the park, the Clydesbank is... That's the Clydesbank right there. There's the water and there's the park. Nice little playground set here, it looks like. Oh, monkey bars. We got monkey bars over here. Beautiful. Back to the train. One more stop. I want to get my perfect scenario. No time to explore. 40 is our speed limit coming out of here. We are going to approach a 60. And then a... is that a 15? That is a 15. So we have to watch our speed because we have a yellow coming up. We have a junction to follow. So I'm not going to try to go too fast here. I'm going to have to slow down before we get to that 15. So I'm going to just stay around 30, I believe. We have a full 2 minutes to make this stop, so we are good. At full speed, it would take about a minute to get to that part of the map. That 30 I panicked at last scenario, by the way, is an advanced warning of a 30. It does not mean that you have an actual 30 right then. It's advance. I did not mean to hit the brakes yet. Let's put the throttle back on. And take it off because I do have to brake before that 15. Now's a good time. I don't want to chance it, so I'm doing it a little early. And I need to put a little bit more on. There we go. I'm now at 15. I think I'm going to junction into platform 3. This is the terminus of our service. So we're going to get moved over to platform 3. And this is going to be the first chance you get to see the Dumbarton siding, which is to our side. This is going to wrap up our DLC as well. This is our final stop of the entire DLC. Barring any future workshop scenarios. And I'm glad I got that one to extend the workshop scenario, to extend the enjoyment of this route by another scenario, because that was a fantastic scenario that we had there. We have a red at the end of the platform, so I have to make sure I don't pass that red. I am going to try to get to the 3-car stop, and that should be good enough for our stop. Stop right there. That's the spot right there. Open the doors, and we are done. That should be a perfect scenario. that guy disappears in the train. We didn't get far enough for the 3-car stop, but it's close enough. Ooh, hello. How are you? So yeah, I hope you enjoyed your journey. By the way, the Armed Forces Veteran Association is to the right of Platform 1, to the north, and the Dumbarton Library is to the south. Let me try and get a quick look at the Dumbarton Library if I can. That might be it right there, actually. I thought it was further south than this. It might be actually down here, the Dumbarton Library. That could be it right here, and there's a church right there, I believe. That's the St. Patrick's Church. There's also a Walmart in this area, of all things. Walmart is not going to be represented in the game because that's a trademark, but that is the St. Patrick's Church, and there you go. St. Patrick's Church is here. Walmart is somewhere in this area. That actually could be the Walmart right there. This might be the Walmart. Oh, fantastic. Well done, driver. You have successfully completed the scenario. I did, didn't I? Look at that, 1,000 points. Let's go ahead and call it a day. I don't even have anything to analyze here because I didn't speed at all that entire journey. You had to be perfect to get the full 1,000 points. No speeding, no emergency brake penalties like last time. Everything on time. That's all you had to do. So we're done here. We are all done with this scenario. We're all done with this DLC. And I am extremely happy about that last scenario. So, yeah, I know that Green Dragon 32, who I mentioned from the previous scenario, and I praised numerous times on his, I think it's his, I actually should find out the gender before I confirm that. After the storm scenario, I praised that scenario. The thing is, I know that Green Dragon 32 is working on a lot of other DLC scenarios, or a lot of other scenarios for the workshop for this route, and is using all sorts of different trains. One uses a Class 156. I'm going to revisit the 381 eventually. And there are going to be other trains used there as well. I suspect a 303 might get used at some point just to do a historical scenario. We'll have to see what Green Dragon decides to do for those scenarios. And I will definitely be revisiting those as we get to drive those trains. So I may not announce it in advance, and maybe one episode before. I generally may not announce it in advance. But I'm going to pop back here periodically to do more scenarios on that route. So make sure you keep an eye out for more scenarios on this route, on this channel. I will take a bit of a break for right now, though. And I'm going to move to Sherman Hill. That is my next planned work. If I don't have that work done by the time I am scheduled to release it, I will move to London to Brighton, and I will make Sherman Hill the next one after that because I want to get that one out. That one was a headache for some of the scenarios to record. Because some of the timings on them just are not fair in my opinion. I submitted some concerns about these, and as far as I can tell, they're not doing anything about it. So I'm going to just take matters in my own hands and show it to you the way it's meant to be seen, and not rely on them to fix it. And I will make sure to note where I made changes so you can know what is going on in the scenario. And the one scenario that I really have a problem with in that DLC is the Midnight Magnet, which really has all sorts of problems I don't even want to go into right now, but I'll talk about it when we actually play that scenario because it is a fantastic scenario. It's just a shame that it's done the way it's done because the timings are not right on that one, and it will probably be an instant failure even in the standard version of that scenario if the timings are there. Though I don't think the timings are actually there in the standard one, so you probably just pass that one no problem anyway. In any case, I will stop blabbing here, and I will just say stay tuned next time for Sherman Hill. I do want to note I do have the Battle for Sherman Hill pack, but I'm only going to do the first 6 scenarios for right now. Then I'm going to move to London to Brighton, and then I'm probably going to introduce something like, I haven't decided yet, Donner Pass, maybe the Hyndland Pass, which is one of the original routes for Train Simulator. And maybe I'll bring up Soldier Summit and the Salt Lake City extension as well, because I have trains in the Battle for Sherman Hill pack that use those 3 routes. I just have to decide which route I want to do first. I will explore those, I'll explore the scenarios from those routes as I get to them. I'm going to be mixing in with the UK routes because there's a lot more routes in the UK. I'm going to try and bring up some China. If I get any, I'll get some Japan in the future possibly and show you some Japan. And I definitely have Canadian Mountain Passes and will be showing you Canadian Mountain Passes as well as some Just Trains content, which is in the far north. I have the Kyle line, which I'm picking up. Actually was just on sale for $14.99 US in the Black Friday sale, so I'm going to be showing you that at some point as well. Fantastic looking route. Some of the scenarios are super long, so they're going to be about 5 or 6 parts to some of them. Not much we can do about that. I will be doing it in one sitting, but you're going to see about 5 or 6 parts. Be ready for that. In any case, that's a sample of some of the content that I have. I have a lot more than that, including the things that came with the Humble Bundle, like Miami to West Palm Beach, things like that. So stay tuned for a lot of additional content. I'm going to also mix in some Euro Truck Simulator 2 and some American Truck Simulator, as well as some other games that I decide to play as I come to them. I have a very large enough Steam library. And I want to show. I have been holding off playing some of these games for streaming or recording to YouTube, and now that I'm finally recording for YouTube, I might as well start streaming those games and see what those games are like. So I will see you for all of that. That's all going to be coming up on this channel. For now, stay tuned for Sherman Hill coming up as our next Train Simulator DLC, and the other games will come on as they come on. So with that said, I'm Cyclone. Have a good day, evening, or night, whatever it is for you at your part of the world. Stay tuned next time. I'm going to see if I can go to Sherman Hill. See you for Sherman Hill. Bye-bye.